It looks as though we've gone back in time with the muskets, fur pelts, and tents set up along Bay Street at the entrance of the Ermatinger-Clergue National Historic Site. In a way we have with the commemoration of the War of 1812 celebrations here in Sault Ste. Marie.
Well, of course, this year is the 200th anniversary since the War of 1812, and we have part of our celebrations here in Sault Ste. Marie because, of course, this area played an integral role in the first offensive military maneuver in the War of 1812, which was the taking of Fort Mackinac. So it would have been Charles Ermatinger who lived here, who would have participated in that attack along with his business colleagues, his Native alliances and Métis friends and voyageurs that he had gathered together. So we're really paying tribute to the collective gathering of those people for that cause.
There are dozens of tents and hundreds of reenactors here as a part of this historical event. We caught up with one performer, Eric, who is a historical entertainer.
They were looking to recreate the time period, and historical entertainments tend to fall out. People tend to forget that we always entertained. You know, the more advanced we get, the more entertaining we are. But historically, you look all the way back, there was always historicals. Before there were workers, you know, when you look back in the Bible, the first thing that you talk about is Jubal. He was a player of flute and harp, and then his brother Tubal-Cain, who was a iron worker. So even back then, the entertainment seemed to come first. So people tend to forget that in our zeal to look at history and how we were built as far as the wars and everything. But throughout all of that, we've always been entertained. We've always had entertainments. The kings, the queens, always entertainments. And wherever there was a crowd growing, there would have been entertainment. The first circus that we can document, 1724, was two people, a man and his wife, and they were on what we consider the frontier. They weren't in the big cities. That comes much later.
There are many interesting people involved in the festivities, some not as easy as others to break character.
Well, I was asked from the Aboriginal nation to join the Allies, which included Captain Charles Ermatinger, Captain Charles Roberts and Charles Ermatinger and John Dixon, to join their allied nation to go down to take over Fort Michilimackinac. Now, I met up with them after taking over Drummond Island with 700 warriors, and we met up with 300 other warriors, which created a huge fleet of Aboriginal warriors, Métis voyageurs, and the British forces. And because our numbers were so large, when we took over Fort Mackinac, there was no shots fired, there was no bloodshed, and that was the first battle to ever take place for the War of 1812, after the United States had declared war on the Canadian territory of Upper Canada.
I'm here to humanize the role of Captain Charles Roberts, to give a face and a body to what is essentially just a name in a textbook. I find that when you see me, when you hear me, it gives a little something that you can realize that this was a human, it was just a normal man in an extraordinary role.
To learn more about the War of 1812 historical facts as well as festivities, visit the link on screen. Reporting for Shaw TV, I'm Jasmine Pozo.